In the brand management process, the first thing you have to figure out before going on with any kind of strategy is what the brand positioning is going to be, what the customers are going to think about when they think about your brand. Positioning here means the position in the mind of the customers. Almost everything after deciding on the positioning in the strategic brand management process will be about enforcing this positioning. Then you need to figure out how to get that in the mind of the potential customers. All the strategies will come after this point. And before I continue, a reminder to subscribe. There will be more videos explaining the entire brand management process, and later there will be videos about the entire service marketing process. All of that will happen in 2021. Subscribing will help the channel grow so these videos can reach more people. And to the existing subscribers, thank you. Now let's move on with the video. Alright, before deciding on the brand positioning, let us assume that there are existing competition in the market. The product is already being sold. You are making the product under your brand name. And your job is going to be creating a separate positioning in the mind of the customer compared to the competition. And for that, you need to create a point of difference. And to create a point of difference, there has to be a point of parity. Point of parity is the similarity you have with your competitors. And point of difference is what makes you different from your competition. Points of parity and points of difference are linked to each other. If there are no points of parity, it is a completely different product, so there will be no points of difference. For example, if you say that you are making cars and you start telling people that your car does not have any wheels and it can fly, you are not really making cars, are you? That is what I meant when I said that in order to have points of difference, you have to have points of parity first. So, when deciding on the positioning, you need to make sure that you have both points of parity and points of difference in mind. How are you similar to others? Here, the customers need to see what you have that everyone else also has. Then you need to show them the points of difference. How are you different than your competition? What can you provide that no one else can do so? What is the thing that none of your competition is going to provide to the customers? The points of difference is going to end up being the positioning in the mind of the customers. Your positioning can be almost anything. It can be that you are the safest choice, or you are the cheapest choice, or anything else. It can be vague like family, or love, or happiness. There are companies that do that. Now, how do you go about and set your brand positioning? The first thing you need to do is find out what everyone else is doing and put them in a positioning map. It is going to have two different axes and you can visualize easily where your competition is going to fall and see which needs of the consumers are not being met. Then you find out what you can do better than the competition and create a clear message for the target market about what they can get from you. A better positioning than your competition is not always going to be easy, but if you can do that, you can capture more customers. There are competitors who surely have some points of differences of their own. And if you match them in your performance and give the consumers something extra, the customers are more likely to flock towards you. This concept is named competitive points of parity. You will negate the point of difference of your competitors. Example: some car manufacturer that was the only one that could go from 0 to 100 miles in 5 seconds. Now, if you can provide that with the added benefit of being fuel efficient, then you are 1. Negating their points of difference, and 2. Establishing your own point of difference. Here, what is going to be your positioning? You can either go for efficiency or you can go for environment friendly. What will you go for? That depends on who your target market is and what they care about. That was competitive points of parity. Category points of parity, on the other hand, means the most generic attributes, what every single product from any brand is going to have. There is another kind of point of parity that is called correlation points of parity. It is the negative attributes that a brand might have that is usually linked with some other attributes. For example, if you sell something for cheap, the customers are likely to think that the quality of the end product is not that great. Low quality is often linked with inexpensive products. And when choosing the points of difference, you have to keep some issues in mind. First of all, you need to make sure whether people want what you are providing or not. You might have something different, but nobody wants it. What are you going to do with your different positioning then? If you are selling something of low quality for an expensive price, who is going to want that? And more importantly, you have to consistently provide your promise. You are promising the thing, but customers are not getting it. Or sometimes they are getting it and sometimes not. That will not be an ideal situation for you. The customers are going to go away sooner than they came for you. And another level to that will be customers need to believe that you can provide it. Possible, but not easy to do. Again, cheap and good quality. Is it possible? Yes. But it will be harder to convince the customers that you can actually do it than to do it. The customers need to believe that you are cheaper than the competition and the quality is better than the competition. That is a hard task. You can try to launch different campaigns to talk about two different attributes you have. Running two different campaigns will be expensive, but it can be profitable in the long run. Lastly, the positioning might need to be updated from time to time. It needs to be updated for various reasons. If most of your competitors are catching up to you, you might need to do something about that to stay ahead of the game. Maybe you had the same positioning for a long time and the demand for what made you special 10 years ago does not make you special anymore. An example for updating positioning can be Apple. Apple has always been the premium, easy to use product. Innovation, creativity and whatnot. But if you have seen their recent ads, you will see the push towards safety and privacy. Consumers nowadays are more and more aware of the fact about how different companies are there to collect our data. So, Apple has been pushing towards privacy. And they're not just all talk. They are actually actively trying to provide what they say. Now, I hope you understand the concept. The next video on this series will be about brand resonance. I will talk about brand resonance pyramid next. And if everything is alright with me, I will still upload on every Mondays and Thursdays for the entirety of 2021. Anyways, if you have any questions, you can comment below. And again, you can like, share and subscribe and everything else. Doing any of that will help the channel grow. And if you want to directly support the channel in what I am doing, you can support me on Patreon. Now, a small bonus. Nobel Prize Physiology and Medicine in 1913. The prize went to this person. And with that, I would like to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching, I really hope you have learned something new today. And I would also like to remind you to take care of yourself. You can take care of yourself. Goodbye for now.